Welcome back to Research Methodology chapter. I have entitled this chapter or this video "Keep It Simple." It's very important that we keep this chapter very simple. First of all, when you are writing research methodology and research method chapter, you are not reviewing literature. This is the biggest mistake that most students does. They go on to write advantages of a questionnaire, disadvantages of a questionnaire. They went on to review literature on different paradigms. We don't want you to do that. We just want you to analyze the text synthesis, synthesize the text and apply it to your study. That's what is more important. That is the goal when you're writing this chapter. Then the best way to write it is to outline and to discuss. As you synthesize your text, make sure that you are outlining what you want to do and you discuss why you are doing whatever you want to do in your study. Then the most important thing is to keep this chapter simple. Keep it simple. That's very important principle that you need to apply when you're writing this chapter, because if you keep it simple, then you avoid a lot of confusion and a lot of complexity. Sophisticated simplicity is what you should be targeting to achieve when you are writing this chapter. Then this is just a general outline that I have given. You might discover that from one university to another, one department, one discipline to another, it might differ. But this is just generally the most basic one. You start by your introduction. Tell us what you intend to do in the coming sections. Then immediately bring in your research aim. By bringing in the research aim, you bring in your research problem or the statement of the thesis or problem statement, which is very important because we need to know what you want to do, what are you going out there to solve. That is what is very important. Then research setting. The research setting, you might discover that in the quantitative world, most of the studies does not have research setting, but in qualitative, research setting is very important. You cannot leave it out. Then then the theoretical and conceptual framework. Don't make mistake to avoid or to leave out the research theoretical conceptual framework, unless if you are very skilled and you are a very experienced person in research, then you can leave that part. But it's not always advised for you to do that. It's always a good thing for you to make sure that you adopt a theoretical conceptual framework to guide your study. Then research paradigm. Is it a pragmatism? Is it positivism? Is it interpretivism? etc. There are so many paradigms that are out there. We'll talk about that. Make sure that when you're choosing a paradigm, you're choosing a paradigm that's fit well. That's a good fit to your research aim. That's a good fit to your research setting. A good fit to your theoretical framework, to your methodology that's going to come, and whatever that you want to do. So it's very important for you to ensure that that is done properly. Then, of course, we go to the research approach or the method of inquiry. Is it a qualitative? Is it a quantitative? Is it a mixed method? It's very important for you to explain to us why you are choosing mixed method over qualitative or qualitative over quantitative. I have actually listened to some of the presentations criticizing the research methodology, saying it's not a method of inquiry. There's no method of inquiry like a mixed method. And no, that's not true. Mixed method is there, and it's actually a very good method of inquiry if well applied, or if integrated with the right theoretical framework and the right research paradigms. You discover that you get best results when you use mixed method. Then target population, sample size, and sampling procedures. This is actually one of the most complex area which you need to justify, especially when you are using quantitative. You need to tell us why are you sampling 100 people, why are you taking John instead of Peter. If you are using a quantitative and sample size justification, you can actually use sample size calculators on internet. Just type in your population number size, and then it automatically tells you how many people you are supposed to be administering to in terms of a questionnaire or interview. Mainly the questionnaire. Then yeah, it's very important for you to make sure that the sampling procedure and techniques you explain them well. This is one of the most complex as well about techniques that are out there, because there are so many techniques there, and they are normally confused by students when they write them. So it's very important to keep it simple so that you don't confuse yourself and you don't confuse your reviewer. Then data collection procedures, instrument analysis is very good that you understand the softwares that you want to analyze data. If you don't know, it's also good. It's also very important that you see the statistician. If you intend to use a statistician to guide you before you write the instrument to your supervisor, because once the instrument have gone to your supervisor and the supervisor okayed it might be very difficult for you to change it. So it's very important that you first consult with the statistician what you want to do, and the statistician can give you a guideline. Then research reliability, validity. This one you can also write thesis and thesis. So it's very important that you keep it simple. Show to us how you're gonna ensure research reliability and validity. There are so many statistical ways that you can use, like the Kronberg alpha, exploratory factor analysis, confirmatory analysis. Then some people can also use the correlation. Yeah, the correlation to check for validity. So there are so many ways that you can use it to validate in terms of statistics, and also in qualitative. The transferability, dependability, and all other stuff, the rigor of the research when you're talking about qualitative. So it's very important for you to understand that if you choose a qualitative, how do you ensure validity and reliability in the qualitative research approach, and also if you choose the quantitative, how do you ensure it in the quantitative side. Then limitation of the studies. Tell us the limitation of the study. If it's possible, tell us the methodological limitation. That's what we want to hear. And it's actually good if you can tell us the methodological limitation at this point. Then it means that you are very much aware of your study. You know what you have written. You have managed to keep your study very simple. But if you can't tell us about the methodological limitation here, it might show that you did not understand what you have written to us and what you want to do. Then of course, then you go to conclusion. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. That's very important. Write as if the reviewer doesn't know what research methodology and research method are all about, and simplify your formulas. Explain all the software that you use. Explain to us what is Pearson correlation. Don't just bring in Pearson correlation. You don't even leave a note. We need to know all those regressions that you are using. Why are you using those regressions? Why are you bringing in the logistic regression? Why are you bringing in the linear regression? Why are you bringing in whatever you are bringing in your study? It's very important that you explain, make it simple so that everyone will understand what you want to explain. Don't just bring in some terminologies and you leave unexplained. Then the most important thing as well is to make sure that you try to represent your methodology in a diagram or in a graph. This is one of a good example that I could find so far. This researcher is using pragmatism, and you can see he's using a mixed method, and he's starting with the qualitative, and he's explaining to us what he's going to do, the key informant, and obvious that key informant interview is leading to the quantitative, and he's explaining how many people he's gonna administer the questionnaire to. Then as we go, reliability, validity, how we ensure them under quantitative and also under qualitative. Then how we intend to analyze data and interpret that data, and the point of integration of the two. So it's with also the chapters that we're gonna find those information. So it's very important for you to be able to represent your information in a diagram. If you can represent it in your diagram, then you can explain to it. More important, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Avoid confusion. Avoid simplicity. Complicity in your study. We want you to achieve sophisticated simplicity when you write this chapter, because it's a statistics. It's actually statistics is a complex subject, maybe one of the most complex subject on the world. So when you are writing a research method and research method and research methodology, you need to take note of that this chapter or this field of study is one of the most complex field of study that we have in the world, and it's very important that you keep it simple, you simplify it. Sophisticated simplicity is what you should be aiming. Thank you.